வணக்கம் நேர்களே, இன்னொரு Let's Talk எபிசோட்ல உங்களை சந்திக்கிறதுல we are so thrilled. ஒவ்வொரு Let's Talk எபிசோட்லயும் டிஃபரெண்டான பேனல் மெம்பர்ஸை மீட் பண்ணி இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான டாபிக்ஸை பற்றி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம். அதே போல இந்த முறையும் என்னோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான பேனல் மெம்பர்ஸ் ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருக்கணும். I have Vibu here from OVN Photography and I have Dachika from Jodi Bridal and Dreamers Events. Jodi Bridal show happening on March 1st. Make sure that you go to it. And in the episode sponsor is Sequence Media Photography, and thank you to Sequence Media for sponsoring Let's Talk. And the topic is it worth to leave your daytime job and go after your passion in entertainment and arts? So in the topic நாங்கள் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண முதல் எங்கட கோட்டை பற்றி நாங்கள் கதைக்கலாம். The quote is சொற்கள் என்பவை தேனீக்கள் போல அவற்றில் தேனும் இருக்கும் கொடுக்கும் இருக்கும். So இந்த கோட்டை பற்றி நீங்கள் என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க தச்சிகா?
My thing is people can say sweet things, they can say nice things, and sometimes those same people can say something that can be hurtful.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do it without even realizing that they're hurting someone's feelings, right? So I think for me that's what that means.
That's what that means. And Vibu?
I think it's true, but I think it's also perspective you take on that. I think that sometimes it really is where it's coming from, right? The comment, whether it's coming from a good place or a bad place.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when people do critique you or give you feedback or say something to you, you have to look at it from where it's coming from.
Where it's coming from. Why are they saying it, you know? Like saying like not take it at face value, but kind of think deeper and solely. So pretty much words they can heal you or they can hurt you. So make sure that you choose your words wisely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to topic. Let's go into this. Is it worth to leave your day job and go after your passion in entertainment and arts? ஸோ நாங்கள் எல்லாருமே லைக் என்டர்டெயின்மெண்ட் ஆர்ட்ஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் இருக்கிறோம். அதே நேரம் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு டே ஜாப் செய்கிறதுலையோ செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறதுலையும் ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்குது. ஸோ தட்சிகா நீங்கள் சொல்லுங்கள், நீங்கள் என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க இந்த டாப்பிக்கை பற்றி?
My thing is with arts and entertainment, a lot of us have a passion for it, and especially within the Tamil community, I think there's a growing number of people who are very passionate about some sort of arts or entertainment business. And when we're younger, I think we're encouraged by our parents to go into medicine or do engineering or accounting. Or
be a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, or nurse or whatnot. And so a lot of times we kind of take those passions and we put them aside. And then we go into the job, this 9-to-5 job, and we realize that this 9-to-5 job, you're not putting in all your effort. You're not doing it wholeheartedly. And if you're not doing it wholeheartedly, then you're not really moving forward as you should in your career. Whereas if you do something that you're very passionate about, it's, you know, you give 100% or you give more than 100%.
Yeah. So, Vibu, நீங்கள் உங்களோட கருத்துக்களை சொல்லுங்க, நான் அதுக்கு அப்புறம் சொல்றேன்.
Oh, give us your feedback? While I do this full time, this is what I do, I'm a photographer. That being said, I think it is very important to follow that thing that you really enjoy doing and that you want to do.
Yeah.
But I have my reservations as to how do you approach this idea that you have or business that you have, or you want to get into the field of arts and entertainment without really thinking it through. And I think as much as you should approach it and follow your dreams, I think you got to do it with caution.
Yeah. With caution, definitely. So it's pretty much saying, day job, do you want to be an okay accountant or an amazing artist, right? So that's what it comes down to. So நீங்க சொன்ன like top கருத்து என்னன்னு சொன்னால், எங்களோட parents ஏற்கனவே சின்ன வேலைக்கு, not எங்களோட parents, just communityல generally ஒரு certain jobs தான் ஒரு high prestigious jobs consider பண்ணியிருக்குது, right? So இந்த art entertainment இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில எல்லாமே extra curricular activities கீழ தான் எங்களோட communityல இருக்குது. So நாங்க வளரேக்கல this is like நாங்க எங்களோட extra curricular activities or elective, right? There's mandatory courses that you take, right? And then the compulsory, and then you have electives, right? What if your passion is in your elective? Like then what do you do, right? So I think the community and society was kind of like, you know, kind of the community even in other cultures that we've seen when certain movies like, you know, the daughter comes and says, so I'm going to go into fashion, and then the parents are like, what
movie?
Like, I'm just saying.
A Tamil movie?
No, Tamil or English movie,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Sometimes the daughter comes and goes, oh, I'm going to go into fashion. Fashion what? Like, how are you going to do something in fashion, right? Because in the fashion, even people already have this thing, okay, fashion. Either when the she's going to get married and have kids, and that's it. What is she going to do with in fashion, right? So, அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு மென்டாலிட்டியில இருந்தது. ஆனால் I think இப்ப வந்து எங்களோட community is kind of changing. If you can see entertainment artsல வந்து there's a lot of interest. I mean, come on. 2014, we have our own Tamil entertainment channel that just focuses on entertainment. In the Nilameki, if our community is there, and it is, I can tell you, it's mostly watched by our community, right? It's a leading channel right now. So, அப்படியான ஒரு நிலைமைக்கு வந்துட்டு என்று சொன்னால், we are definitely at a point where we are appreciating art and entertainment, right? Because this is creating a platform for all those people that were burning inside for a platform, right? To how to bring this out. So, definitely that. So, what I want to ask is this. Do you think like our community or people are ready to value? That means compensate பண்றதுக்கு, right? ஏன்னா like இப்போ நாங்கள் சிறுலில ஒரு தியேட்டர்ல படம் பார்க்கறதுக்கு நாங்கள் போவோம். ஆனா எங்க லோக்கல் ஆர்டிஸ்ட் ஒரு ஸ்டேஜ் ப்ளே போடினோம்னா எத்தனை பேர் நாங்கள் போறோம் அங்க? Right? So for a photographer, நீங்கள் ஒரு gallery ஒன்று செய்றீங்கன்னு சொன்னா எங்க community would they come or would they
you know, I think maybe
with the younger generation, maybe.
No, I think the problem, definitely the younger generation. But I think the issue is not that people don't know how to value or don't value. It's they don't know how to value.
Okay.
We don't, because for so many years, most of the professions were doctors, lawyers, engineers. How do you say, I'm a photographer now, this is what I charge, you must pay me this price? They can't understand that.
Yeah.
So it will take another few years for them to really understand, listen, like photography means not just take a camera and just it's not that. There's a creative process. You're not paying for the person to take a picture. You're paying for the person to come with the idea of taking a picture.
Yes.
And so I think it'll take some time, but it has to do with a lot of education and being exposed or exposing yourself to the different types of art, if that makes sense.
Yes. And so let's go for a short break, and then we'll come back and then go a little bit into depth about நாங்கள் டே ஜாப் செய்து கொண்டு கேட்கல எங்கட மைண்டில் ஓடிக்கொண்டிருக்குது, ஏன் நாங்கள் அதை விட்டுட்டு இந்த பேஷனுக்கு பின்னுக்கு எல்லா ரிஸ்க்கும் எடுத்துக்கொண்டு போகிறோம்ன்றதை பற்றி let's discuss that after the break. Welcome back from break, நேயர்களே. And this episode is sponsored by Sequence Media Photography. So we're discussing this topic about, is it worth to leave our day job and go after our passion in entertainment and arts? So இப்போ முந்தி வந்து say for example பெண்கள் எங்களோட கம்யூனிட்டியில் வச்சுக்கொள்ளலாம், or even ஆண்கள் ஃபேமிலியை தான் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறதா இருந்தது, ரைட்? பெண்களுக்கு பிறகு okay, I want to bring in some money into the family. I want to be the breadwinner, or even just a little bit of money to the family. பிறகு okay, why can't I enjoy what I do? அப்போ இந்த டே ஜாப் let's make it enjoyable, right? அப்போ அது வந்து பிறகு ஜாபாக இருந்து கரியராக மாறி இப்போ வந்து என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு சொன்னால் கரியரில் ஒரு ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் மாதிரி, அதாவது sometimes people say I am married to my career. அந்த வேர்டை யூஸ் பண்ண தொடங்கினா பிறகு it's a relationship, right? அதால தான் அந்த டே ஜாப்ல இருக்கேக்கலையே நாங்கள் அன்ஹாப்பியாக இருக்கிறோம்னு சொன்னால் we feel like நாங்கள் வந்து ஒவ்வொரு நாளும் ஒரு 40 hours நாங்கள் போடுறோம் அந்த வீக்கில், ரைட்? எங்களுக்கு வந்து we are looking for ஒரு emotional satisfaction எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணி கொண்டு நாங்கள் அந்த ஜாபுக்கு போறோம், அது கிடைக்குது இல்லை. ஸோ நாங்கள் அது வந்தா பிறகு we are depressed or we are looking for something, ஒரு ஏதோ ஒரு something's missing எங்களோட லைஃப்ல என்று சொல்லி, ரைட்? ஸோ நீங்கள் என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்களா அதை பற்றி தர்ஷிகா?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like I think a lot of people or a lot of women go into look for something that they're very passionate about, or even for the guys, right? They want something that they're very passionate about, and when you do something that you're passionate about, you do have to put in a lot of hours.
Yes.
Though. If you were to do the 9 to 5 job, you just go in 9 to 5 and you just do what's given to you because you have to. But when you decide to do something that you're passionate about, you have to put in a lot more hours, and you have to put in a lot more effort. And you become even more married to your job than you were before, right?
Happens.
And it's inevitable.
So Vibhu, உங்களோட கருத்துக்கள் என்ன?
I mean, I do agree in that it is a lot more hours. Like I don't work 9 to 5.
Yeah. Right.
That being said, I work sometimes from like 7 in the morning till sometimes 11, 12 p.m. at night. And thing is, you don't notice that you're working because you are really enjoying what you're doing, and it is fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think we're kind of misunderstanding what entrepreneurship really is.
Yeah.
And I think everybody thinks that you have to love what you do and you always have to find that one thing that you love and that's the only way to be happy in life. It's not always true.
Okay.
I think it's, yes, if you found the thing that makes you happy and you can like, and there is a viable business and you could survive doing that, then go for it.
Okay.
But just because you have an idea, you have a love for something and you want to do this, doesn't necessarily translate into, can I survive with this now? How am I going to feed myself? And yes, at times it does happen where you love what you do and money does come.
Yeah.
But you have to also be realistic as to why you're doing this and whether it's even viable in 5-10 years.
Yes.
I think that's where you kind of have to make sure you have a business plan. You know, before you take a step into anything, I think you have to kind of put together a plan or an idea of how this is going to work out and what you're going to be putting into it in terms of time, in terms of finances.
Well, I don't know if that's the case, because a lot of people who went into passion just went into it, and then I see them being successful because, you know, they probably didn't have credentials அதுக்குள்ள போறதுக்கு எல்லாட்டில அதுக்குள்ள படிக்க இல்ல, right? For example, if you take me, you see me in media, in front of the camera, in front of TV, but I don't have any media background, right? And I'm a full-time social worker. If you really look at it, I could say that I'm probably in a love triangle right now with media and social work and me, right? And I'm like, okay, I loved something for like 10 years. இதுக்காக நான் ஸ்கூலுக்கு போறேன், நான் இதுதான் செய்யணும்னு சொல்லி எத்தனையோ jobs resign பண்ணி I went into government to be a social worker, and then I met media.
Yeah.
Now what do I do, right? So it's like, this is not a 9-to-5 job, but there's so much passion to it. So am I going to like fall out of love with my social work and continue this? Already, am I going to keep both of it? Am I going to it's actually a crisis. I know people, you can say it's a first world crisis, but you do go through kind of a crisis in career like this too. Passion and then what do you do, right? So
no, like I have something that I'm on the same line as you, right? Because I'm in public relations, and that's like, and I work with a hospital, that's my full-time job. But then I come home and then I sit there and I blog and blog and blog and I talk about South Asian fashion. So that's like two different things that I do, and I enjoy both of it dearly. And
you're in a love triangle, aren't you?
Yeah, it is. It's a tough thing, right? And it's like you got, and sometimes you don't have to choose. Sometimes you don't have to choose one over the other.
I think at the end of the day.
No, you could do it, but who says you have to make money doing everything?
Yeah, sometimes.
Dude, if you love blogging, then blog away. But who says just because you are blogging, you need to make money? Or just because you're doing photography doesn't mean you need to make money.
And I think
some people can just do it.
Thing. I don't think you should look for the money when you're trying to do something that comes from passion.
Yeah.
You don't look for the money because that comes on its own.
Yes, but you can't be unrealistic though, because if I get into photography and I'm like, I love what I do, and yes, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I know I may never make money, but how am I gonna feed myself?
But you're using that as a full-time job. But when you're doing it as a side thing, like if people, like with our situation, if like, you know, your full-time job and then you're just doing this on the side because you're just so passionate about it.
Yeah.
In that case, it's okay. Like if the money's not, you know, fine, it's not coming in and whatever. But I guess when you start to step into it as a full-time thing, then you really need to consider some things.
That's why I always like, I think we also talked about this, like passion என்று சொல்லிட்டு கண்ண முடியும். இந்த டாபிக்கை பார்த்துட்டு I hope these young people out there, எனக்கு okay, நான் இந்த passionக்கு பின்னுக்கு ஓட போனேன்னு, don't drop out of university, college and run after your passion. That's not what we are advocating here. நாங்க என்ன சொல்றோம் என்று சொன்னால், always having a bridging job, right? So if there's passion, then think that you want that for long term. அப்படி உங்களுக்கு long term வேணும்னு சொன்னால் இப்ப கையில இருக்கிறத விட்டுட்டு அங்க போய் நிக்க வேண்டாம். Make sure that you're feeding yourself, you're standing on your own 2 feet. Either quit பண்ணிட்டு, you don't ask your parents to support you like for the longest time.
Unless your parents can do that.
Yeah, unless your parents can do that, you know what, go for it. But don't put other people into extreme financial difficulty and not have a plan, right? So keep your bridging job, then, you know, work on this. If this goes well, you know what, you've hit jackpot right there.
I mean, just do something, even like something, if you're really just like Sukhivan, just like Sukhivan's and his photography, you know, Sequence Media, 'cause, like, you know, 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 'cause, like, he's doing this and he's making money, but what could be important is like he's doing this full time or part time, then he can easily get a job at Starbucks or some sort of coffee shop and just have enough to pay rent, pay for food, and then 75% of his time he's spending doing the thing that he really enjoys.
Right. Yeah. So talking about Sugivan, like he is a great example like for this topic. So I'm really excited to meet him because is it worth to leave your day job and go after your passion, right, in this industry? So it was a great discussion, guys, but I'm so excited to meet our sponsor, Sequence Media Sujivan. So let's take a break right now and then come back and meet our sponsor. Sorry, நேயர்களே, welcome back from break. It's time for us to meet our sponsor, Sujivan from Sequence Media. Sujivan, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you, Sujivan, for sponsoring Let's Talk episode. We are so thrilled to meet here because Vivu is here from Movie and Photography and you're a photographer. எங்களோட டாபிக் நீங்கள் கேட்டிருப்பீங்க, is it worth to leave your day job and go after your passion in entertainment and arts? So I know that you can relate to this a lot. So சொல்ல முடியுமா உங்களோட ஸ்டோரியை கொஞ்சம் சுருக்கமா?
Yeah, it is a risk to leave your day job and do something you like, but I think the bigger risk is doing something you don't like for the rest of your life on the bet that you can buy it later.
Yes.
Right? So it's better to do 100% something that you do like, take the risk, and then you know what, every day is more worth it, right?
Okay, so you did this and you are sticking by that decision, is that correct?
Yeah, I was in the engineering industry before, 8 years. 8 to 5.
Okay.
Every day felt like I didn't do anything worthwhile. But now that I've started my own photography business, it's 14-hour days sometimes, but you know what? I feel like I've done something with my day, right? More important.
So, சொல்லுங்க photography-ல என்ன உங்களுக்கு அப்படி ஒரு passion or maybe obsession? What is it that you love about it?
I think it's in my blood, right? My dad used to do it before growing up. I was always into the arts. But when he did it, I was just like, no, I'm not going to do it, right? Like my dad's doing it, I don't want to do it. But then the further I thought about it, every party, I was always taking pictures. I was always the one with the cameras. No matter where I went, I was taking pictures. So naturally, I was just like, you know what? I want to do something I like.
Yeah.
And photography was that step for me. So.
Okay. So Sequence Media, why that? Why did you choose that name? Is there a story behind that?
Yeah, it's so in photography, there's a rule of 3.
Okay.
I think people would know. That's actually from the golden ratio.
Okay.
So now we're going into some mathematical stuff.
Okay.
So the golden ratio is from the Fibonacci sequence. Okay. Basically, everything in nature follows that sequence in the universe, in the earth, flowers. Okay. So I just named it Sequence Media.
Okay. So உங்களுக்கு பின்னிக்கு இருக்கிற banner, tell us about your work over there.
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank my sponsors for this photo shoot we did at Rouge Park. Makeup was done by Modern Traditions, makeup and hair by Kavita. Jewelry was by Maya Boutique, and decor and floral and all the coordination and everything, she was great, was done by Priya from Pre-Plan. So I got to thank her for that, because without her, I could not have done this. So yeah, it was just a concept that we wanted to have the bride in the park, natural setting, more of a fantasy kind of theme, and that's how we did it, right? It was hard. It was snowing, got into a car accident.
Wow.
But we got it done, right?
We got it done.
Before or after?
Before. It was actually my sister, Sumi. She's going to kill me for telling you this. But then she's okay. It was just a minor thing. But, or our model, Niveda, she was actually a trooper. She's like, you know what, don't worry, we'll keep going. Yeah. Even though we got into the car accident, we pulled the car over to the side, towed it later on at night, and finished the shoot, right?
Wow, it's
So,
dedication.
yeah.
That's passion.
And glad you're safe. Vibu, சொல்லுங்க, like, I mean, you're a photographer, so detailed popping. When I look at it, I see a beautiful girl, and then I see it's kind of forest, but there's like, I like the way the face is shot. Like, what are your thoughts on this, like, as a photographer?
I think for as photographers, we look at sort of the overall picture, and more importantly, we look at lighting.
Okay.
Because I think that's key to a good photograph, because it literally is just capturing light. And so I noticed that you have a very, I mean, for someone, how long have you been doing this for?
About 7 months now.
I mean, for someone who's just been doing this for 7 months, you have a very strong grasp of lighting, which I think is very fundamental in becoming a good photographer. I mean,
Thank you.
in terms of technicality. So I acknowledge that, and I can see that you're doing a really good job
Thank you.
with that.
And Sujeevan, I know there's other samples of your work displayed in front of us. So can you
Yes.
explain a little bit about that to the viewers? Because this is, I mean, summer's going to come soon, and you know, wedding and festivals, it's huge, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
talk to us about that.
Yeah, the picture right in front of Vipu, the bouquet was actually done by pre-plan.
Okay.
So we just wanted something. The entire concept was that it's winter, but spring is coming.
Okay.
So that's why we have the floral decoration, flowers, just hanging in the midair.
Okay.
That it is winter time, but spring is just around the corner.
Okay.
And that, you know what, wedding season is coming, right? The center picture is the henna ceremony for a friend of
Okay.
mine that I did in October.
Okay.
So this is just to capture all the different designs, the details that they did for the hands. Because the henna artist actually takes a long time, right? Like 6 hours she was there doing everyone, right?
Okay.
Right. And the last picture is with Nevada, the model in Rouge Park. The concept I explained before is just winter's coming, you know, more of an ethereal kind of bride show, so we can show that, you know, we have the creativity,
Yeah.
we have the resources and the time. So we want to be able to do more creative shots like this, editorial style, especially for weddings and engagements.
So இந்த மூணுலயும் உங்களோட favorite என்னது and why?
I had to say the one with Nevada,
Okay.
just because my idea for that was to get the shadows of the trees falling in the background.
Okay.
And then we had a fog machine set up.
Okay.
And it wasn't working properly because the fog was just going everywhere, but that one shot, the fog cleared up and it was right behind her.
Okay.
And it was the shot that I really liked, right?
So Sujeevan சொல்லுங்க இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில இருக்கிற some of the challenges என்ன?
Yeah, I think the major challenge is just getting our portfolio out there and our name. Not a lot of people know about my company right now. Even some of my friends don't. And just to get right value for our work, right?
Okay. All right. So Sequence Media, how can people find out about you and what type of எல்லா events-க்கும் you go, right?
Yes, we've done weddings, corporate events, from baby shoots. We have a studio, Image Duff Studios. It's at 5210 Finch Avenue East. We can do everything there, portraits, family pictures, even if you want LinkedIn pictures done, right? I think the major difference between us is instead of doing anything graphical, if I can build a set for you, I'll build it, right? Even if it's just a family set, family portrait, we'll build a set custom just for you guys, right?
Okay. Thank you, Sujeevan, for sponsoring Let's Talk. And நேயர்களே, if you're looking for a photographer, Sequence Media, please do contact them. He does amazing work, as you can see. And thank you, Sujeevan, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
சரி நேர்களே, நீங்கள் இந்த எபிசோட பார்த்து என்ஜாய் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க நம்புறோம். The topic was, is it worth to leave your day job and go after your passion in entertainment and arts? And நீங்கள் திங்க் பண்ணி கொண்டிருக்கீங்கன்னு சொன்னா மேபி இந்த டாபிக்கால உங்களோட மைண்டை நீங்கள் மேக்கப் பண்ணக்கூடியதா இருந்திருக்கலாம். Thank you to our sponsor Sequence Media for sponsoring Let's Talk episode. And thank you Vibhu from Ovian Photography for being part of the panel. Dachika from Jodi Bridal and Dreamers Events. And நீங்களும் ஒரு business owner இருந்தால், if you want to advertise in a unique way, call TT Studio to come on Let's Talk. And நேயர்களே, நீங்கள் பார்த்து கொண்டிருப்பது Tamil Entertainment Television HD. உங்களிடமிருந்து விடைபெறுவது Sumu, Sathi and TET team.